This is 351 National Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. We've done a medium-sized rehab here. The majority of it was due to tenant damage. Do it outside, walk around to the house, and before I go inside and describe what was done here, there was lots of algae growing on the west and south sides of the house. That's all been treated and removed. The gutters were full of leaves, again cleaned out. The branches removed from the roof. You can see the west side of the house here's all clean and nice and white again. This brush line was actually almost touching the house in several areas. That's all been cut back to the fence and was removed. There is a sump pump line. It was out here in the yard. It was broken, and we put a new coupling on that. Made sure it works. There were several screens that were missing and several that were torn. We've replaced those. We have this front storm door here. The closer wasn't working properly and the frame was out of adjustment. We took care of all those adjustments and make sure it latches. Again, we made sure all the downspouts were clear. The driveway was covered with leaves. You can almost see the brown tint on the stone from the leaves dyeing them over the winter. But we removed all the leaves that were up against the house, and again took out all the brush. The deck had brush growing up through it, and poison ivy vines growing on this back corner was almost covered, so that's all been taken out. The banister, the railing was loose. We re-secured that and actually reinforced it with larger screws so that it doesn't come apart again. Here's the garage. The garage actually had a worse case of the algae than the house did, and it's been treated and all power washed. And I'll try to get around the south side of it here real quick so you can see it. It's all nice and white again. The personnel door to the garage was rotting, so we put a new door in here. This threshold wasn't on the old door, and mice, smaller rodents could actually come into the garage. The bottom frames were rotting. The door itself was starting to rot, so we replaced this door, replaced the locks. The overhead door was out of adjustment and actually off the tracks, so we fixed that, made the adjustments. It's working perfect now. We've actually been using it for the past week. There's a few items here in the garage. Our trash crew took off with a full load a little bit ago, and they're coming back this afternoon to get these things. You can see a nice view of the back of the house and the deck. The exterior light had fallen off. We re-secured that with new screws, changed all the bulbs throughout the house where they were needed. We throw down pieces of carpet. Just helps to keep the house clean while they're showing it. This kitchen was covered with a layer of grease. The cabinets looked almost brown or tan, and they were cleaned with a heavy-duty degreaser, and they come out in pretty decent shape. The counters cleaned, all the appliances cleaned. We've tested the microwave, the stove, the dishwasher, re-secured and tested. Refrigerator we've been using. In fact, you can see some of our soda in there yet. We'll take that out today. We put a new lock on this back door. It was missing. And then the rest of the house, with the exception of the closets and the front porch, all have new vinyl plank flooring. And I'll walk through each room here individually, but this is basically your eating area. We've got, again, new light fixtures and light bulbs. There's new locks on the side door. This door was not replaced, but there's new locks on it. And I'll go to the back bedroom here. Smoke detector batteries have all been replaced, and we actually added a couple smoke detectors where there's some deficiencies here. Again, you see the vinyl plank flooring, the windows were cleaned, about half of the blinds were replaced. They were either broken or so filthy beyond cleaning that it's cheaper to replace them. We had these two doors were actually missing, the bedroom door and the basement door, and those have been replaced, new hardware put on. Go into the living room, I guess you'd call this living room, dining room, and there were some outlets that were broken, cover plates broken, again all replaced. This door was scheduled to be replaced, but the split, or the broken part of it, was just on the edge, so we decided to put a door guard in, and because it is a nice door with the leaded glass in, and decided to keep it. Where we used that was to replace the garage door that was rotting and was allowing rodents in, so it was an even swap. Here's your front porch. We do have 3 blinds out here yet that are being replaced this afternoon, and again we've got some items here that are going out this afternoon when the other crew returns. We'll go back inside. Here is front bedroom. Need to turn some lights on. Again, vinyl plank, blinds, all the door hardware, doors been checked. Carpet in the closets. Everything's been painted new, fresh coat of paint, new smoke detectors, new batteries in smoke detectors. We had a problem with the drain in this bathroom, and it's been replaced. It was actually cracked and leaking. There's new bulbs here. The tub was so rusty it looked brown, and it's been cleaned. Re-siliconed the edges to prevent any water damage, or windowsill painted, cleaned. It had water and soap on it, soap residue. Toilet was cleaned, toilet seat repaired. The bolts were broken on it, so we put new bolts in it. All the door stops in the house have been replaced. Here is the middle bedroom. Again, once again, blinds, closet. This one has a new door also, and the hardware. We'll now head to the basement. In the basement we have new handrail. Steps have been swept, vacuumed. There's some indoor-outdoor carpet on them. The basement has been swept a couple times. We have salt filter and water softener, and we've done a regeneration on those and a backwash to make sure they're working properly. The sulfur smell in the water was really bad when we got here, but since we've done a backwash on the filters, it's much better. You don't notice the smell at all now, because it is a well in the house here, well water. The water tank and the pressure tank seems to be working really well. The water heater's been tested. The furnace has been tested. The furnace cleaned. There's a supply of additional filters for the furnace. The one issue is the house has, or the basement here has some leaks when we get really heavy rains, and we've had some the last couple days. So we did treat all this with bleach down here, so there is no mold growing. It's just stains at this point. The dryer vent line's been cleaned and is in working order. What else? I'm trying to think of what else down here was taken care of. Oh, the sump pump. We have the sump pump discharge line was just floating here out in the open. We installed this 2x4 and taped the line to the 2x4 to stabilize it. Every time the pump would kick on, that hose flopped around like a snake. And at least now when it kicks on, the 2x4 keeps it from moving around, and it'll keep it from breaking in the future. New smoke detector down here. And that is it for 351 National Avenue.